3.
In the summer of 1963, my old friend, now in heaven, Ernie Riesinger, gave me Dr. Martyn Lloyd-Jones's 2 volumes, Sermon on the Mount. I began to read those sermons. I had never been gripped by a book in my life as I was in those days. His teaching changed my life and changed my preaching style. Now, I never became the preacher he is. Only a fool would make a claim like that. But it did turn me into a Bible expositor, for what it's worth. That's the kind of preaching I began doing from then on. And I just cannot thank God enough for Dr. Martyn Lloyd-Jones. Well, it just happened that he was going to be in Winona Lake, Indiana, in the summer of 1963. And I wrote him and said, "Are you going to be there for sure?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "I want to come and hear you." Well, I took my 2 volumes, Sermon on the Mount, and he signed them, and I never thought I'd see him again. Who would have dreamed, I certainly didn't, that one day, I would be asked to be the minister of Westminster Chapel. And I'll never forget it as long as I live, as I was opening boxes of books there where we first lived in London. It was in a little suburb called Ealing, just 10-minute walk from his house. I chose that home to be near him. And as I took out my copies of Sermon on the Mount and opened to where he signed it, I was almost overwhelmed. I would never have dreamed that one day, here I am, the minister of Westminster Chapel, and here's the man that influenced me the most. Well, I picked up the phone. I said, "Doctor, guess what I'm doing? I've just opened the book that you signed." He said, "I remember it well." I said, "Isn't it amazing? Who would have thought?" And his response was, "It is marvelous in our eyes," referring to Jesus' words in Matthew 21. Well, I never dreamed the day would come that I'd be the minister there, not to mention that I would actually preach from the Sermon on the Mount. In the next time I meet with you, I'll say more about that. I just have to agree that it sounds extremely bold and presumptuous that I would write a book, preach through the Sermon on the Mount. I did. I'll explain it next time.